We have a demented, unintelligent person running the United States of America, and he proves it every single day, and legacy media washes over it. Here is Trump Kanks going into his safe space with chief propagandist Scott Jennings. And I want you to notice in this audio clip, he is fact checked zero. His sanity is questioned zero. And this is just a day in America with a batshit crazy president. Play the clip.
They use oil and gas. They use coal. We're not letting them use windmills because windmills are out in this country. If you see what windmills have done to England, to the United Kingdom, to Germany, they destroy everything. And they're all in depressions. It's just so horrible. They're so expensive. The stuff costs many times more than oil and gas or coal or nuclear. No, we're not allowing windmills in this country. We're not going to let them. And they destroy the views, the vistas, the planes, the beautiful planes. I'm not talking about airplanes. They destroy them too, I guess. If you think about it. I'm talking about the kind of planes that you ride a horse on, right?
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir. And he doesn't even fact check. Everything he said in there is a lie. He is beholden to the oil and gas industry, who has contributed billions of dollars to him and this movement. And right now, global temperatures are rising, which is one of the existential threats to our species. And we have a president who is out to lunch off his rocker on these issues, and he only goes into safe spaces with people who will coddle him.
It's so funny to me that he is so obsessed with windmills. He's cut all the funding for projects that were almost completely finished. But this to me is he just, in his demented brain, he's just latched onto windmills. He has no facts. And it is just a disservice to everyone that listens to Scott Jennings' podcast and watches Fox News that they do not fact check the lies.
Well, Scott Jennings is on CNN, and he's rarely fact checked on there. Next up, we have Gavin Newsom, who is credibly calling out Trump's dementia because, as Pumps mentioned, he brings up one thing, the windmills, and he repeats it over and over and over and over again. He gets caught up like the Hannibal Lecter. Put this tweet up. Newsom posts, and he asks Grok, do people with dementia repeat false things over and over again? Grok, who is Elon Musk's AI robot, says, yes, people with dementia can repeat false statements or beliefs, a behavior often linked to memory impairments and cognitive changes. This can manifest as confabulation, where they create or repeat false memories to fill gaps in recollection, or preservation, where they fixate on a particular idea or statement. And you can look at this with windmills. You can look at it with the Hannibal Lecter. You can look at it with the lie that he says kids go to school and get have surgical gender reassignment surgeries in elementary school, which is an obvious lie. He repeats these things over and over because, as Newsom points out through Inside the Death Star, Grok says, yeah, this is dementia. But how does Fox handle this dementia claim? Fox, the same Fox that was all over Joe Biden. Play the clip.
Polls demonstrate and bear out. I've got to get your reaction to this. This is Newsom on X. He posted this, and it's really, it shows you the level that he's at, where he's suggesting the president has dementia. I'm not even going to read it, but it's basically him questioning Grok and asking, what is the byproduct of dementia? My question is, does this grow his base at all? Does this land, who is this appealing to beyond his hardcore base?
All right, stop right there. Let me tell you who this is appealing to. Millions of Americans that see a crazy person saying crazy stuff day in, day out. Millions of Americans who see masked agents kidnapping people off the streets, hardworking people who are in the process of doing their jobs. We are seeing and hearing, and you have propagandists like this guy at Fox News, like Scott Jennings, and their number one job is to coddle an insecure man while our nation crumbles. The seriousness of this cannot be overstated. We have a man with full-blown dementia, and his default setting is that of evil. And he is running our country into the ground, and he lied to everybody. Some earnest people voted for him that don't follow the news cycles, that thought, oh, he can't be bought and paid for because he's a billionaire. And they were lied to, and everybody is getting effed.
Why would this guy act like it was so outside the realm of possibility to question Donald Trump's mental faculties? I mean, he acted like he was shocked by that. And yes, Donald Trump has lied and repeated lies over and over and over again. This is a clear departure from that. He is picking up on things and saying things that make no sense consistently. And Fox News is just shocked after the Joe Biden stuff.
But that's the role they play. They play this propagandist role. They act that way because that's the reaction they want to project on the viewers. Isn't Gavin Newsom absurd? This is classic abuser tactics. These are classic propagandist tactics. So I'm not shocked that they're acting shocked, because this is what propagandists do. This is the rule book. This is the playbook. And while all of this is going on, the things that Fox News is not reporting, pop this up. The United States now has more unemployed people than job openings for the first time since April 2021. And it cannot be overstated that the Biden administration gave a baton to the Trump administration. The Wall Street Journal, owned by Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News, did an article a week before the 2024 election and said, whoever wins, they're being handed the world's hottest economy. Kanks and his army of sycophants are so incompetent and or willfully trying to reduce and diminish American democracy that they are willfully and irresponsibly destroying the economy because they do not give a shit about working class people and want to take away our constitutional rights.
The jobs numbers, the unemployment numbers, the GDP numbers, the stock market numbers, the dollar, we are headed towards a recession, full stop.
I think that the beginnings of the recession have already started.
I agree with that.
I think because if you look at the underlying numbers under the stock market's always a big bubble, and then it pops, and it looks like the economic soil has been completely manicured for just a horrific impact on our economy. Next up, this is really, really disturbing. So the United States, under the BBB, his bill that he's so proud of, sought to expand ICE and has funded it just astronomically. And so they have to hire people. And they have these job fairs for ICE. And Emma Vigeland has a summary of the Washington Post article. And you guys, this really sent a chill down my spine. Emma says the Washington Post interviewed people at an ICE career expo in Texas. This former MMA fighter wants to become an ICE agent to target Indian workers in the U.S. And the guy says, I'm going to work with these guys that are going to arrest you, slam your face on the pavement, and send you home. And I often thought when Kristi Noem and everybody was putting out all these, we want to hire people, what they're seeing, these guys with the masks on, brutalizing, denying people rights, kidnapping them, yelling at the people who are trying to film it, saying, leave them alone. You have immigrant workers, crying, wait, my wife is right here. You see children, mothers being ripped away from their children. And I thought the people that see that and think that's what I want to do, we are drawing in Gestapo-like people. And, of course, an MMA fighter style personality type that comes from an incredibly broken home that wants to glamorize violence would be perfect in this setting.
This is terrifying because I fear the little bit of power that it's going to give these people who are already craven and racist. It is going to end in horrible consequences. like death. I'm worried about death in these things.
And he said he wanted to go after Indian people. And this is going to be a real reckoning at some point, because there were a lot of Indians for Trump, and, Latinos for Trump, and blacks for Trump, and, gay people for Trump, and women for Trump. And you're going to find out that at some point, you're not the exception.
No.
You are a target. And that's what will happen to all of these groups that chose this over morals, over having decency, over having integrity. And then now, you guys, the lawlessness of the United States military is something that is so bad right now that Rand Paul is calling it out. And they are now bombing boats that they believe are drug smugglers, and of course putting the video out on the social media of the White House, because the people who follow this really like this level of cruelty, which is a very alarming manifestation of MAGA that we're going to have to deal with when Kanks drops dead, which hopefully will be any month now. But let's play the clip of Rand Paul.
These people were bad people and drug dealers, but if they were caught off the coast of Miami, we would stop the boat. If they don't shoot at us, we don't shoot at them. They're confiscated, they're put in jail, and then they go through a trial to prove what they were doing. And if they have 20 pounds of cocaine or heroin or something on the boat, they'll be convicted. The reason we have trials, though, and we don't automatically assume guilt is, what if we make a mistake and they happen to be people fleeing Venezuela, the Venezuelan dictator? I think probably that, we had the facts correct. We got bad people here. But that's the reason, like off our coast, it isn't our policy just to blow people up. We don't blow up ships entering our waters unless they're, hell-bent on attacking another ship, or unless they are resisting with gunfire. Right. We arrest people. So it is difficult, and it's hard because obviously they're bad people. So people are like, they want something bad to happen to them. But typically, even the worst people in our country, if we accuse somebody of a terrible crime, they still get a trial, basically.
That right there. Even the worst people in our country get a trial. That is the foundational principle of civilized societies. And the fact that they are doing this, they are escalating. And then I heard Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth say that they are not ruling out a regime change in Venezuela. And the United States has tried to do this many, many, many times. And it is never successful for us. And it costs American taxpayers a lot of money. American taxpayers, by the way, who don't have health care, are paying for all of this shit. And this is incredibly dangerous. But I want to show you in MAGA, this shit hits hard. The moral depravity is the point of this movement. Put this up. So Matt Walsh responds to a tweet by Kenneth Roth. And Kenneth says, drug trafficking is a crime, not an act of war. Traffickers must be arrested, not summarily executed, which U.S. forces just illegally did. Matt Walsh, big MAGA propagandist, big misogynist, big racist, big homophobe, says, counterpoint, kill the foreign drug traffickers who bring poison into our country. Kill them all. And Evan Loves Worf on Twitter says they want to live in a world where the government can execute anyone they want for any reason and are very confident that it will never be them.
The problem with the Trump administration and what he's doing is he does not believe in due process. Kristi Noem doesn't believe in due process. Pete Hegseth, they do not believe in due process, which is a constitutional right. And they're priming the pump. And people are saying, I would rather kill the wrong person than give due process to the right person. And it is terrifying. That is not how America is supposed to be.
And it's further terrifying that the MAGA base wants this.
They want it.
And so I've said this for a long time on here. I understand a group of depraved people, a small group. The volume of immoral people within this movement is staggering. It's breathtaking. How many people go pray to Jesus on Sunday and then they like people being kidnapped off the streets and sent to concentration camps? How many people go and put their flag up in their yard, or they wear USA shirts, and then they see a boat being bombed, and we're supposed to believe this administration. We're not giving people trials. We are the richest country in the world. We funded this. Do we not have the Coast Guard that can go put cuffs on these people, have the evidence, put it out, and give them a trial? We're just randomly bombing these boats. That's not who we are. The problem is millions of people agree with this. Millions of people agree we should be able to kill people and execute them whenever we want to. And the psychological makeup of a huge portion of the United States of America is something we are all going to be reckoning with for generations. And the most terrifying part to me is, for the last 10 years, many people that were maybe 10 years old when Trump came down the escalator are now 20. And their whole childhood, this has been an example of a leader. This has been what they see the office of the President of the United States as being: a demented man with no morals, with a personality cult that likes to dehumanize, demoralize, and now indiscriminately kill people without trials. And they cheerlead for it, and they like it, and then they go pray to their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, on Sundays. And these people are the moral rot of this country that we will be reckoning with long past MAGA. All right. The hottest summer book has now turned into the must-have.
I thought it was the It book.
Must-have It book of the fall. Get your chilly sweater and curl up on a weekend and support Pumps and me by buying our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. It kind of lets you in on how we arrived at this very table here and our friendship. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all later.